Hi everyone, and welcome to this week's Holistic Astrological Scopes. Yeah, so we've got a lot going on this week. We've got a new moon, so I'll be talking about that later. And we also have quite a lot of things which I'll mention, but first I'm going to talk about the moon void of core states, as well as the new edition. I'm going to start talking about what the moon is doing in any particular constellation it's in at any given time. So yeah, it's a lot. Okay, here comes the scopes. Okay, so the moon void of core starts at 8:22 GMT on the 27th of June. Then the moon enters Gemini at 1:03 a.m. on the 28th of June, leaving void of course. Then on the 29th of June at 3:53 a.m. the moon enters void of course again. On the 30th of June at 1:53 p.m. the moon enters Cancer. Then on the 1st of July at 22:59, so 10:59 p.m. GMT time, the moon enters void of course again, and it stays there to 2 a.m. in the morning on the 3rd of July when the moon enters Leo. On the 25th of June at 12:32 p.m. GMT until the 28th of June at 1:02 a.m. GMT, the moon is passing through the constellation of Taurus. So while the moon's in Taurus, you may get all over the place about finances, material security. You may be more focused on building that. Also, it's a good time to focus on managing your financial affairs, anything to do with beauty, makeup, finessing yourself, your finances, your life, and you and others may be more focused on improving yourselves. In your sort of like emotional life, you will demand a bit more faithfulness, like you'll want to be a bit more secure in your relationships. So those of you who are into hookups, no judgments, no cap, that's the order I wanted to say it in, may be looking for something a bit more. And those of you already in a relationship or not in a relationship, you may be looking for something a bit more long term, and it's a good time to do so as well. But as we're talking Taurus, Venus energy, just watch out for overindulging in food and other luxuries, drugs and all the rest of it. And also possessiveness, because you and others can be a bit more possessive at this time as well. So yeah. So on the 28th of June at 1:36 a.m. until the 30th of June at 1:52 p.m, the moon is going to be passing through the constellation of Gemini. So you and others may feel like you want to communicate your feelings, but more in a logical way rather than an emotional way. It's possible, that you will highly rationalize everything at this time and allow your intellect to control your sort of like emotional life and what you do, which can cause conflicts in your relationship, especially if it's your anniversary or something like that, and your partner wants you to wine and dine them, and you're just like, it's just another day, something like that. So there can be an increase in all sorts of social, professional, romantic kind of discussions at this time, but more on the intellectual front rather than the emotional front. But as you'll see as we go into the main aspects, these alter the moon placements a bit, but this is just a generalisation. Okay, so on the 30th of June at 1:52 p.m. until the 3rd of July at 1:59 a.m. GMT time, the moon is passing through the constellation of Cancer, which allows you to, get more in touch with your feelings, wanting to nurture yourself, good for self-care, good for self-reflection, good for taking care of your appearance in terms of sorting out your wardrobe or tidying your house or your bedroom, anything sort of domesticated, taking care of your bills. Also going to be an increase in receptivity to, emotional stuff and using your intuition. So for all of you who are interested in, going into the psychic realms, it's a good time to do this, but do it in a safe way, in a grounded way. If if you're unstable in any way, it's best not to delve into that sort of stuff. So yeah, your focus will be more on domestic security and partnership and looking after your emotional well-being and your psychological, spiritual and physical well-being. Good use of this time, spending time with your family or friends or whoever else is important to you. And the negative of this, because it's Cancer energy here, emotionals energy, you and others may be more receptive to being, sensitive and hurt easily by what you perceive as criticism or actual criticism. So, think before you react, and it's just good to trust your gut feelings, your intuition, and to go with that. Okay, so there's no major aspects to report for the 26th of June. So on the 27th of June, as I said earlier, the moon void of course starts at 8:22, and we have a set style of Mercury and Chiron that starts on the 26th of June, strongest on the 27th of June, and leaving on the 28th of June at 4:03 a.m. GMT time. Just got to keep on repeating it because I know that people in the States, if you're in the Eastern time, I think it add 5 hours, but you can Google it. If you're ahead or behind us, so if you're behind, the transits will last before I say them, but because most transits have an applying and separating effect, they usually come on about 3 days before I mention them, and then they can last anywhere up to 7 days after, depending on the transit. So yeah, Mercury sextile Chiron can bring an increase in written communication, can help you process or express your emotions, using your intellect to understand or manage emotions. So you may find yourself spending time journaling, or it's good to journal, introspect, record your emotions in any way to help you understand yourself on a deeper level. You may also receive a letter, an email where someone else states their emotions, or you can spend time reading about psychology, feelings, and trauma, or doing research about it, watching videos about it, listening to podcasts about it. And doing this can help you understand your own and other people's pain and feelings, a bit more clearly. It's a perfect time to use your intellect to grow your emotional intelligence. What I mean about that is that, to look at your emotions sort of like in a detached manner. Don't want to say rationalize emotions, but to just, be like, okay, I've got this emotional problem. Can I sort it out myself? No. Can someone else help me? Yes, and then go and seek that help, whether that be a therapist, friend, or family. And the outcome of this is getting you to know your own moon changes in any given moment in the long run. This is like lifelong work, but you can start it here if you wish, or continue it if you've already started it. It's a good time for that. So keep a track of your mood changes in this time, so you can stop yourself from instantly reacting when your psychological, spiritual, or emotional wounds are triggered. In fact, some of you may receive communication, have a conversation that triggers your wounds, or watch something, listen to something that does this. And if this happens, try and do all you can to listen to the thoughts, the feelings that come up at the time. Resist numbing yourself to your feelings. You may be shocked at what you find and may feel the urge to run from suffering or numb yourself with distractions, drugs, or alcohol. But this will be the wrong approach to take in the long run. A friend, co-worker, family member, intimate partner, or someone else may bring to your attention things you do or say that impact them in a negative or positive way. So you may get some praise for the way you conduct and express yourselves, or they may bring up something negative, but still, although we don't like feedback, I don't like negative feedback, and we're human after all. You may want to lash out or hide or just be like, oh, something's wrong with me. We're all, work in progress. There's no such thing as perfectionism. You cannot Photoshop out, emotions like you can with your blemishes or freckles or anything else on your face that you don't like. The only way to get through emotions is to work through them. So if traits you do not like are revealed to you, try not to beat yourself up. Instead, think of ways you can change this and any actions and wounds that causes conflicts in your relationships. Actually, before I start talking about Mars sextile Saturn, that also happens on the 27th, just want to add about Mercury sextile Chiron, that you may find yourself in some sort of deep conversation about your current or past life adversities. For those of you who are into, the spiritual aspects and stuff, if you're just into logical thinking, then you'll just be thinking about your childhood or, the last 10 years, 5 years, year of your life sort of thing, and your life challenges, or someone may come to you for advice about these issues, which provides healing and reassurance for you and them. Content creators can use this energy to talk about their own psychological, physical, emotional, or spiritual wounds, encouraging people to seek out group therapy or find any other support network that can help an individual understand, have compassion for themselves and others, forgive, and learn to manage their feelings. On the individual level, you may decide to start your own alternative or traditional healing business. Do your research, make a plan, be creative, and see how you can add value to any profession or niche you're thinking about breaking into. Okay then, so Mars sextile transit Saturn entered on the 26th of June at 3:23 p.m. until 7:33 a.m. and its strongest around the 27th of June at around 11:28 p.m. So with this transit, you and others may be more willing to work hard and for long periods of time. Disciplined and focused action will bring results. Willpower and endurance will bring rewards. Fortitude and breaking your own limits. So, just thinking about the limitations, the way you restrict yourself, the way your partners, friends or family try and, restrict you in any way. And you may think, flip it, I want to break free, I want to go for what I really want. This energy brings resolute, determined, I'm doing it now sort of thinking and action and words. You may feel increased in your personal ambition, willing to take on more challenges, start new things, and a willingness to do boring tasks like research and making strategic plans to make your ideas reality, and then taking the practical actions to bring these ideas through into real life. So this transit brings great determination and gives you the planetary insight and stamina to keep on working even if your minds tell you that you're tired or you cannot do it. And what I add about this, I see this in my own life. We can actually work longer 9 times out of 10 than what our mind tells us to do. Us human beings can be creatures of comfort. We want to do the things that make us feel nice and happy and, Netflix and chill and all of that. But I'm not telling you to neglect your physical, spiritual, or emotional health. It's important to rest, but to know that you can keep on going maybe for that 5, 10, 20, an hour or two longer than what you may think you can go on for. Some of you may complete projects you've been working on for a long time. Others of you will call yourself out on your own bullcrap and decide to do the hard work which is needed to reach your goals, ignoring those who tell you to take shortcuts or that you cannot do it. I'm not going to be cliche and say anything you put your mind to, you can do, but it sort of is like that within reasons to your personal situations, limitations. But if it's stuff like money and stuff, and you say if you want to start your own TikTok or YouTube or something like that, just plan, just build yourself up, ignore everybody else. Don't think, oh, it's too late for me. No, try, because the world has got 7 billion, probably 8 billion plus people now. Not one person can serve them all. There's always going to be people that will gravitate to your videos and your content if you put it out there. If you don't put it out there, then no one's gonna, no one can see you, you're not visible. Get out your own way, sort of thing, and start living the life that you want. So yeah, some of you may decide to sort of like increase any passive income, but remember, it takes 3 to 9 years to make any income stream passive. Believe you and me, things crop up, especially if you're starting your own blog or website and stuff. It's just all crazy. But you will learn some new skills along the way. So don't fall incompetent and think everything's going to happen overnight. Even if people make it look that way, it doesn't. Believe me, if you want it and you're prepared to work the next 3 to 9 years for it, whatever it is, you can get it. So you and others can feel more focused and disciplined at this time. Projects involving finance, politics, technical coding, training AI, design work, energy, engineering, and experiments any projects like that, you may have some breakthroughs in them, especially if, code or whatever it is has been, stressing you out because you haven't been able to get the right settings, the right formula. If you stay with it, research, just keep on working on the problem, the solution will be found. All physical activities are beneficial today. There is plenty of assertive energy available. Still, Saturn's influence may make you and others more reserved in speech and your emotions and your actions. But this can be good for some of you that, you just want to tune out a bit, not ignore your feelings, but just be like, I want to focus on my work, sort of thing. Small procedures and dental work is destined to go better today. It's kind of ancient astrology, but I give the advice that it says. So yeah. Mars sextile Saturn gives you the power to cooperate with others in even the most boring or hard to solve tasks. In fact, working with co-workers, friends, family and intimate partners may strengthen your relationships and also help you achieve more in less time. This ain't always the case, they may distract you, so just think about whether you want to ride solo or whether you want to work in a team. Long-term ventures started or further today, continue today, can turn out very well over time, especially those involving physical action, so weightlifting and all types of gym work and all sorts of martial arts and boxing and all of that, tennis, football, whatever the in sports are at the moment. So yeah. Also, you are given the opportunity to be more efficient and waste less time, seeing through empty promises and scams, so you can be more efficient in your social, professional, and personal life. On the negative side of it, you and others can be too forceful in stating your own wishes and opinions, and this can cause kind of relationship breakdowns, conflict. Also, you may be like, oh, I don't want the new, I just want to stick to my routine, sort of thing. And yeah, and you may miss valuable opportunities to progress your career, relationships, social circle, networking circle, projects, or even just grow as an individual. So say yes as much as you can and within reason, but don't lock yourself in. Don't think, oh, I've always done it this way, so I'll always continue to be doing it this way. Be open to new sort of like ideas. Content creators can use this energy to focus on content that helps people increase their concentration, physical stamina, emotional resilience, and productivity right now. So, yeah, on the 28th of June, the moon voyage, of course, ends at 1:03 a.m. and Neptune also goes into station retrograde today. So retrograde Neptune, everybody, at 8:55 a.m. UK time, GMT. British summer time also, yeah. So when Neptune goes into retrograde on the 28th of June at 8:55, it's making a square to the moon, so there can be an increase of feeling anxious, stress, depressed within yourself, or other people may feel this way that you come into contact with, watch or listen to, that may affect your ability to work and see things clearly. You and other people's emotions may come out in explosive ways, or you may turn to intoxicating substances to numb yourself from them. However, it's important that you try and understand them rather than run from them. You can channel your emotions into a creative project, write your feelings down, write song lyrics, or dream exploration, journaling, tai chi, going for a walk, some yoga, some breath work, meditation, any form of meditation, anything that makes you feel relaxed, can bring you invaluable insights into how you can understand, heal, and manage your emotions. Also, when Neptune goes retrograde, the moon is also what we call out of bounds in astrology. So, out of bounds moon is basically when a planet or luminary is over the declination of 23.28 precise north or south. It's basically said to be out of bounds. So what does that mean in plain language? So there can be an increase in rule breaking, wanting to break free. So adding to the Mars sextile Saturn transit, wanting to do your own thing, which can cause inner and external conflict. Some of you may get the urge to quickly get rid of anything or anyone that stands in your way, breaking out of conforming to what society tells you to do, and free of your own self-imposed prison, of what you think you should do, and look into new ways to live your life on a more authentic level. Negatively, you and others can become more delusional at this time, not seeing things as clear as you believe, because we're talking about Neptune here, and when a planet's retrograde, it's not actually going backwards, it's just moving side to side. So it's like giving that energy of hesitation, indecisiveness, more commonly associated with Libra, but yeah, you get the point. So the moon out of bounds allows you to tap into this kind of mystical energy, because the moon's just kind of like doing its own sort of thing. But it can also draw you into addiction, self-destruction and illusion. There can also be lunatic, psychopathic behaviour, or at worst, highly unethical or criminal behaviour and thinking. You and others can become highly egotistical, cold, lacking humanity. Then you've got the Saturn influence aiding that as well. And lacking humanity, wanting to get your own way, falling into pessimism and apathy, or deepening, going further and further down into that. But on the positive end, this can make you highly creative in solving your life problems, helping you connect with yourself on a deeper level, showing you the strength in facing and managing your demons rather than avoiding them, and getting to know yourself on the mind, body and soul level, consciousness levels. Or you may get to know someone else on that level as well, as long as this happens. So yeah. Also, in terms of fixed stars, when Neptune goes into retrograde, it's making a semi-square to the fixed star Mavak. The key word for that is to be receptive and harmony, but being receptive can also be receptive to negativity. It's also Neptune's also making a sextile to the fixed star Altair, and this allows you to be bold, and the moon's out of course, void of course as well, so this adds to that kind of wanting to explore, wanting to do things new to yourself as well. We also got a semi-square to the fixed star Hamel, and this allows this energy allows you to follow your own path, to do your own thing, and to be bold and be like, hey, I'm here, I want to do my own thing. Also, Neptune makes a square to the fixed star Capella, so this can allow you to be in the moment, to feel at one. But again, especially if you take drugs or whatever as well at this time, you cannot be seeing things clearly. So, be aware of that, but it gives you the energy to enjoy the present moment rather than be thinking of the past or present. As Neptune also makes a trine to fixed star Procyon, so Procyon, it also can bring kind of short-lived experience of going back to that short-lived high of drink and alcohol, toxic relationships. Some of you may even meet a new lover as the Neptune stays in retrograde for 3 months. You may think you found the one, but it may not last as long. Also, Neptune makes a square to Canopius, so this is the pathfinder. This allows you to, open up your mind to your higher purpose. Some of you may find yourself having a revolution, a mystical, spiritual, higher consciousness, or for all of you out there that's practical, logical, you may make a logical, thought process to be like, I want to find out, what I'm meant to be doing in this sort of like world and go for that. Neptune's also making a sextile to the fixed star Schedir, Schedir. So this star's known as the Queen. It's like the one of the divine feminine sort of power, and that whether you're male or female, non-binary, they, or however you want to identify, we've all got that kind of feminine energy within us. We just all express it in a different way, so this allows for that to be expressed. Also, Neptune squaring the fixed star Phact, Phact. So this also adds the energy, allowing you to find your path to seeking adventure, wanting to explore. Also, it's trining the fixed star Alpaca. Can't pronounce these, I spell them. Anyway, Alphecca. So this brings, a mindset of abundance, of you thinking in your mind's eye what you need to do, allowing you to have those intuitions, those visions and stuff, but just be careful about that. Also trying in the fixed star Acrux, Acrux. So this allows you to focus on what you want to achieve in the physical world. You may expand your mind through physical sort of sensual experiences at this time. Neptune's also trining, there's a lot going on. We've got the new moon to do yet, but yeah. Also trining the fixed star Thuban, and this helps you to, be protected from negative influences and to find that kind of hidden wealth of wisdom within yourself. Or you may read a book or watch something online, say a TikTok video, YouTube video, and just light bulbs go off and you're like, this is what I've been waiting for. So making a sextile to the fixed star Ashana, and this gives adds that there can be sudden endings. Also, it trines Castor. Yeah, I love Castor. Sorry, a bit biased here. But yeah, so this gives you, the energy to, explore your emotions, to write them down, to communicate them, to create. So very creative energy, allowing you to, literally go for it. It's also trying in Pollux, which, Castor and Pollux in the myth are the twins that are associated with the lovely Gemini, which is one of the most favourite star signs. Sorry, I'm being sarcastic there. Yeah, so Pollux is the pain of creativity. So even though you may go through some painful experiences right now while Neptune's in retrograde, at the end of it, whatever happens will make you stronger, make you more creative, make you more experienced, more alert, more awake. So yeah, that's the fixed stars to the Neptune retrograde. So I'm going to put a link on what I wrote, what happens when Neptune goes into retrograde. But the keywords are luck, healing, self-sacrifice, tolerance, betrayal, guilt, pain, indecisiveness, soulmates, increased in ghosting, increasing hookups, increased awareness of how to lie to yourself, which is kind of like a paradox. So basically, you're open to lying to yourself and to believe in the lies of others. You can be more susceptible to energy vampires that can drain your energy, or you can drain your own energy by the mismanagement of your physical, psychological and emotional, spiritual health. Truths can be given to you. You can experience spiritual mystical growth, as I said earlier, can be increase in vivid dreams, visions, fantasies, and seeing the deeper meanings in in the little things in life. Like you may see like a leaf flowing to the ground or the wind blowing in a certain way and find some sort of meaning in that. More open to addiction, to obsessions, to self-sabotage, illusions, things that you believe to be true can be shown to not be true right now. Can also be, hidden enemies. You can be a victim of gossip, some form of humiliation, deception and disappointments, detachment, innovation. Best to focus on your self-improvement, especially in your emotional and spiritual and psychological health. And it's just a chance when Neptune's in retrograde to not only become aware, but to do the work or continue the work of healing your psychological, emotional, and spiritual issues, which may be holding you back from, growing into who you want to be in reaching your high potential. So, yeah, that's enough about Neptune retrograde for today. There's a lot going on the 28th. We've got a lot to go through, so yeah. Uranus also makes a semi-sextile to Mercury, which entered on the 27th of June, strongest on the 28th of June at 10:01 a.m. and it's leaving on the 29th of June at 1:05 a.m. So this brings visionary ideas, simple solutions to complex problems. Intuition or research can lead to exciting new ideas, relationships. You and others can be craving, as I said earlier, more stimulating conversation, adventure, experiences, and entertainment. Unexpected information or gossip can bring you down or uplift your day. Some of you enjoy gossip. So, yeah, conversations you have, and there's nothing wrong with that, by the way. We're all who we are, we're all here to learn different things and whatever. So, yeah, conversations you have, videos you watch, or music you listen to can bring invaluable news or insights. You may be triggered emotionally or intellectually, leading you to do some self-reflection, research into a new business idea, social idea, or like a creative project. This transit gives you the ability to think and react on your feet. You can meet a new and exciting, eccentric, original people or join an innovative organisation. Find a new YouTuber, TikToker, or some other online content creator that changes life for you. This transit gives you the ability to increase your productivity and think more creatively. Random experiences can lead to big ideas that, if you put into practice, can improve your quality of living and peace of mind. Ideas that come your way may not be complex at this time, but if you develop them, even though it may just think, you may just like, someone may say something and you was like, no, I'm not going to try and make that a reality because it's just so simple. And if you give yourself a chance to develop that idea, even though it may seem humble, unpretentious, and a new concept, any ideas that come to you right now may not be complex. In fact, they may seem quite simple, and you may be like, oh, it's just nonsense. This can be something someone says. You can watch a video or listen to something and you get an idea, and because it's so simple and unpretentious, you may just be like, throw it away. But don't do that, because if you develop it, this humble concept can be turned into a new concept that you may use in your professional or personal life that may uplift it in some way, whether this be a freelancing idea or any sort of idea for your personal development, social development, or anything like that. This transit is good for content creators to produce content that makes complex or technical, scientific, technological, medical, spiritual, or psychological information simple, taking big concepts and breaking them down so that people can understand them more clearly. You can use like Uranus type of graphics or music, futuristic music and graphics in your execution and presentation to explain your idea. Some of you may work in groups to achieve goals. On the whole, this transit allows for you to think out the box, break traditions, see the bants, the humour, and even the most traumatic of situations. On the individual level, revolutionary thoughts, projects, music, writing, documentaries, graphic design, and anything else can creative can be conceived at this time. You can give birth to new ideas that will break you out of your normal routine so that you avoid dullness and repetition. So you may be like, what, I usually take this route to work, but I'm going to take another route, and on that route you may, find something beautiful. Who knows? So yeah. Also on the 28th, there's a lot going on and we ain't even got to the new moon yet. But yeah, Sun makes a semi-square to the transit moon's north node at the 27th of June at 2:33 p.m. to the 29th of June at 12:01 p.m. and its strongest around the 28th of June at 1:36 p.m. So with this energy, you may be impelled to have a compulsive need to interact with people, but doing so may bring conflict to the day. It can be conflict in opinions of meaning and what to believe and what to say and how to act. Endings in relationships and situations can happen. On the other hand, you can meet some influential people and let go of some toxic people, especially, toxic relationships, intimate relationships. There can be an increase in selfishness that can lead to divisive, divisional speech and actions that doesn't promote unity, promoting separation in yourself and others. You may come up against oppositions to your plans, especially from those in authority. There can be a battle of wills where you and others compete with each other. Still, you may achieve your goals more effectively if you work together instead of against each other. I said teamwork is the key word for this week, if you can, if necessary. And that doesn't necessarily mean with other people. This can be, teamwork with all the different sides of your personality. So So yeah, powerful or fated connections can come into your life. Negatively, you may feel uneasy about any happiness that comes into your life right now, just thinking about the end, but try and just enjoy the moment. Life is ebb and flow of positive and negative moods and experience, and it's important that if something good happens right now, try and enjoy it in the moment, which I know is hard to do with all the economic instability, the war and all the other craziness that us human beings are doing to each other at the moment. But yeah, thinking you're the best may ruin your chances of being the GOAT, the greatest of all time. Try and be humble and focus on things that need to be done, because Uranus can give us that big sort of like head at sometimes. If you are in a relationship, even if it's just with yourself, do something to bring some sunshine, some romance, some light-heartedness into it. Obstacles may come your way, but if you work hard and keep on getting back up after each fall, you will eventually reach your goals. Do not stay the same because of insecurities. If you do feel, emotionally, spiritual, crippled, withdrawn, seek out help or research effective tools that can help you with your emotional, spiritual, financial, or any psychological problems. Remember to show yourself and others some love, care, and empathy right now. So as I said earlier, Neptune is going into retrograde today, but it's also making a semi-sextile to Mars that entered on the 27th of June at 10:24 a.m, strongest on the 28th of June at 8:07 p.m, and leaving on the 30th of June at 5:54 a.m. So again, it allows for your intuition and conscious reasoning skills to be off the hook right now, knowing what you want to do, knowing what to avoid and what to go for, and all that sort of things. Taking action. Dreams or waking visions, thoughts can provide solutions, can be a highly clairvoyant time, but as I said, this can work negatively, falling into delusions and deception. And watch out for falling for lies, especially in toxic spirituality and toxic ideas and stuff. There's a lot of truth in everything, but the thing is, you should always research and go on your own experience rather than listen to anyone else, even me. So yeah. It's as simple as that. People can give you guidance and wisdom, but as you go into adulthood especially, you have to take personal responsibility for sort of like doing your own research and stuff. Also, even though there's going to be an influence of intuition, because Neptune's in retrograde, just think of before you act in any, intuitive guidance, gut feelings. It's a perfect time to, use mind over matter, to think positive. This will pay off at this time. Use your willpower to overcome any external or internal limitations, and so you can expand your consciousness, your mind, and allow yourself to take practical action. Don't brush off your gut feelings and intuitions and say, the fantasy and unattainable, but anything, as I keep on saying, can be achieved with effort, determination, and time, and getting back up after the many failures you will face, because normally we just see the glossy version of success. No, there's a lot of pain behind success, because you have to kind of get out your own way, stop being your own worst enemy, and to actually work for long periods of time to bring anything. Just think back to when you was at school or any of your past achievements. 9 times out of 10 you achieved that because you had to stay focused and to consistently practice that stuff. So yeah, it's a good time for spiritual higher consciousness development, but watch out for being impulsive in delivering or receiving guidance. If you think before you act and do your research, as I said, you can uncover invaluable information that aids a higher consciousness development. This energy is also perfect for content creators to produce spiritual growth content, focusing on the illusions of those who put themselves up and, as being like sort of like all-knowing gurus, goddesses, and all of that. Not disrespecting anyone, just saying it how I see it. So yeah, and also, doing content about the downfalls of things like lucid dreaming, because everything in life's got a positive. Like water, it hydrates us, it gives us life, but if we go into that sea and we get under a current, it can kill us as well. So that's my point there. So you can create content creators about the dangers of opening up the third eye, mediumship, and all other spiritual states and practices. Also content about the ways secrets, addictions, self-destructive behaviours, thoughts, relationships and habit, how they reduce your vitality and mental strength, and ultimately lead to the inability of individuals reaching their highest potential. So content like that, as well as aspiring content that gets people to focus on shadow work, which is basically all the different aspects of your personality that we often we'll say that person's bad, they're wrong, project all our negative stuff on other people without actually looking within ourselves. So content that, allows people to focus on their personal growth on all levels, physical, financial, spiritual, emotional, and psychological, can also be very beneficial to your followers and yourself right now. Take an authentic approach of, sharing your experiences and your struggles with emotions and your psychological spiritual health, because all humans face it. Negatively though, this transit of Mars semi-sextile Neptune can make mistakes being made on the individual level if you act before you have enough information or without thinking at all. So think before you do, and do your research, and everything will turn out for the best in the long run. On the 29th of June, we have a new moon at 3:52 a.m. The new moon is a perfect time to plan new things, to gather ideas, and to just think about what you want to do over the next coming 2 weeks, 4 weeks, and the rest of the year, I guess. Rather than rush ahead and get things started, although for some of you this may be best, just trust your own judgment on that. But don't feel the need to rush ahead because, hey, it's new moon, I've got to make new plans. The moon is making a square to Jupiter as it forms the new moon, so this allows for increased optimism. The moon is also making a sesquiquadrate, C square, which is 135 degrees, a sort of like transit to Saturn, allowing for dedication to work and anything else that's important to you at this time. There are some main aspects going on with the planets, and I talk about that in a while to give more depth from what I'm saying now. But in general, Moon Day 1 is perfect to take time out if you need to, and some of you may prefer to, slow down, have some solitude. Time spent in analysis and planning is like the best rather than just rushing ahead and taking action. But again, some of the planets that I talk about, the aspects, say that you can. So again, it's just going on your own intuition and what you can manage. The moon is in the constellation of Gemini still. So, there can be a conflict in your need to be alone and a need to socialise. Moon days 1 and 2 are called days of water. So that's today, the 29th, and tomorrow, the 30th. So, emotions can run deep. There can be quick changes in mood and general feelings of discomfort. Also on the 29th, the Sun makes a square to Jupiter, and this entered on the 27th at around 5 minutes past 10 at night, and it's going to last to the 30th of June at 5:46 a.m. and it's strongest on the 29th of June at 1:59 a.m. So, this energy is twofold. It's good for networking, sharing ideas, being open to taking risks, but there can be arguments due to, differing of opinions. The best use of this energy is to work on your own personal development, take care of your responsibilities, make influential or meaningful connections with others, although it can be hard to do because, you want to just do your own thing. This brings a do your own thing energy to the day. So yeah, when the Sun squares Jupiter, some of you may take things too far and go crazy with risk taking. Take risks, yes, but also check the details, although you and others may not be in the mood to check details, and this can, cause losses and mistakes. There can be a lot of overconfidence that can turn into egotistical, at worst, arrogant behaviour and words, maybe aggressive words. There can also be a lot of taking things too far, overdoing it on the drink, the alcohol and other things, porn and hookups and Netflix and children, all of that. Going large, basically, as we say in UK, and not going home at the same time. So yeah, the main theme of the transit is, seeking pleasure, extravagant behaviour, such as too much socialising can mess with your performance at work and in your personal project. This energy can bring deception because, you've got the Sun squaring Jupiter. So, people can, use spirituality, their financial knowledge, or come across as if they have knowledge in philosophy or religion or whatever it is, just to manipulate, control, or scam people. You may meet someone or someone already in your life may talk in a way to make you believe they're better than you or more experienced. Still, their intentions may not to be to help you, but to deceive you, get something from you. So don't be paranoid, just be watchful, because ulterior motives and superiority complexes can be intensified with this transit. If you feel as though you don't have enough information, your energy's down or otherwise unsure, do not take risks, including trading or other forms of gambling. But if you feel confident, it's okay to take risks. Basically, people will want to come across as if they're being charitable and selfless right now, but really they're doing whatever they're doing for personal gain. Not all people, but just be mindful, or some other, ulterior motive, or doing it mainly for personal attention and false modesty. The need for instant gratification that you or people around you may be, exhibiting right now could be hiding deep emotional, psychological or physical insecurities. You may want to just numb and escape from your pain, doing anything to distract yourself, but the best use of this transit is to have empathy for yourself and others. Face your problems, seek out support instead of running from them, or if you want to do it alone, just write down your feelings or just be gentle with yourself. Sometimes we don't have to solve anything, we just need to let ourselves feel, just let it all out. If you're going to cry, you're going to cry. If you want to scream, go in your car or somewhere else where you can. I sometimes find a good scream helps, so just try and relax. And I know it's easier said than done, but that's the best thing to do. On another note, some of you may turn to cult-like groups or people to help you, especially if you're feeling down, which is not the right thing to do at this time. Negatively, there's a risk you will take your feelings out in others and become too opinionated, thinking your right way is the right way, and arguing against other people's belief system to avoid dealing with your own sort of like issues right now. So just starting arguments for the sake of it. Venus also makes a sextile to Jupiter at this time. That entered on the 29th of June at 7:03 a.m. and it lasts until the 30th of June at 2:35 a.m. and it's strongest on the 29th of June at 4:51 a.m. So when Venus sextile Jupiter adds the power to enjoy yourself regardless of what's happening in your life right now. Hanging out with others can enhance your mood. So I said about the sun, squaring Jupiter. Some of you may fall into that and cause conflicts, but this Venus sextile Jupiter gives the power to balance that sort of aggressive energy out, allowing you to keep on smiling regardless of the pain you feel. And as I said, this doesn't mean ignoring situations or your problems, but taking an optimistic look at your ability to eventually get over your current problems or relationship difficulties. There can also be an increase in social or professional communication, travel. It's good to focus on your beauty, your wellness routine, self-care, or making any intimate partners or friends or family feel special, doing some, activities such as, group meditation with your friends or lovers or any other form of bonding, activities. Some of you may have a moment of feeling at one with yourself and others, or you may be more interested in learning about other cultures, understanding different languages and ways of life. Spending time appreciating our clothes or habits of other cultures, listening or watching, films from different cultures and stuff like that. Some of you may meet a new friend or hook up or love interest. It's perfect energy to focus on creative projects. You've got the Venus sextile in Jupiter, especially all forms of editing, research work. It's perfect for content creators to produce content that talks about love, relationships, pros and cons of relationships and beauty and art, music and creative things in general, travel content and content about different cultures in the world, different countries and stuff like that can do really well right now, or the inspiration can be given to you to produce that sort of work. Venus also makes a quintile to Neptune on the 28th of June that entered, strongest on the 29th of June at 7:23 a.m. and leaving on the 30th of June at 3:28 a.m. This is a subtle transit that adds a sort of southeast vibe to the day, or it can make you more focused on your own goals and less concerned about the needs and wants of others. Also can increase intuition, empathy and a need for some sort of break from normal routine. People that more may bore you even if you like them, if they're overly talk about dry fats and technical information. This can bring you a sort of subconscious, because it's subtle energy, making you feel fearless, and you may act in this way and speak in this way, like I can do it sort of energy. And you can be I can do this to people, and some people may try and suit you down because that's what we humans can be like. But if you're open to or have been working on your spiritual path or higher consciousness, personal development, this energy can bring some sort of spontaneous experience where you're like flip it, the past is gone, the future will be what it is. I'm going to work on what I need to do now, which may this new attitude may shock you and others, because some of you could have been in the depths of depression or stagnation beforehand, and you just like snap out of it, and you do. When Venus quintiles Neptune, it's sort of like an esoteric spiritual aspect. So it gives you the ability to let go of or carry on despite your obstacles, especially if you have this energy in your natal chart. For others of you, you can be more driven to be creative or have more sort of like potent dreams at this time, and be, it adds just like the Venus sextile Jupiter. for you to be able to be more artistic and imaginative. So it's kind of like supporting that main energy. Also, Mercury makes a quintile to Jupiter. That came in on the 28th of June at 7:31, strongest on the 29th of June at 10:51 a.m. and leaving on the 30th of June at about 1:51 a.m. But, transits, the energy of always lasts about 2 to 3 afterwards when they are their strongest. So this will still be active to about the 2nd, 3rd of July. So yeah, it adds the ability to focus on all forms of scientific, technical writing. If you have this aspect in your natal chart, it will affect you more. You may find yourself more open to new forms of communication, theories and people. Also, if you teach or create content, this can be a good time to take complex information and make it simple. On the individual level, you may have been trying to learn something for a while and not be able to take it in, but under this transit, that information may become clearer to you right now. Ancient wisdom and science and traditions and myth and all content like that can be good to talk about for content creators who produce content and be received well by your followers and new subscribers or whatever. You can use graphics and video and music to help you get your point across in your content, helping others to understand things better now. So yeah, when Mercury quintiles Jupiter, it gives the ability to, take even 100 pages of information, explain it clearly and succinctly in a 2 to 5 minute video or podcast. Also on the 29th, the Sun makes a semi-sextile to Venus. This is strongest on the 29th of June at 3:08 p.m. and leaving on the 3rd of July at 6:21 p.m. So this transit, along with the Venus sextile Jupiter, puts the focus on your appearance, appreciating yourself, nature and others more, and being the life and soul of the party and all of that. Again, it's an up for it transit, as we say in England, and you may find yourself or being in the presence of someone who is life and soul of the party and having a real good time. Again, like Sun square Jupiter, you may just want to focus on having fun, and this can interfere with your ability to sort of like focus on your responsibilities, your work and all the rest of it. Some of you with this transit may meet a new friend or romantic interest but turn them down out of fear of not being enough, or that, I'm busy with work, I ain't got the time now sort of thing, or you may just feel shy. And it's best not to do this. Keep an open mind because you may miss a good thing. Some of you may, miss the one if you turn down, someone's request for your company or time. So, yeah. Focus on your commitments for sure, but variety is the spice of life, and too much work makes you dull and all that, to quote many cliches about not having fun. So yeah, working hard will make you materially wealthy, but what is wealth, what is money if you haven't got others to share it with? Yeah, you can go on all these wonderful experiences and buy yourself what you want, but after that you'll get bored, especially not all, some people are lone wolves, but just think about what you're doing anyway and keep an open mind if someone requests that they want to be with you or start a new friendship with you or whatever, especially if you've been hurt in the past, because sometimes you can do that, like, I've been hurt, all people are crap, and it's true, us people can be crap, but at times we can be really, really good, so, remain open. I've said that about 3 times. On the 30th of June, last day of June, woohoo! Yeah, we've got the Sun quintiling Mars. That entered on the 26th of June at 5:26 a.m, strongest on the 30th of June at 8:30 a.m, and leaving on the 4th of June at 9:12 a.m. So this is a subtle transit that allows for you to look into new ways of behaving and saying things with the goal of changing or adjusting your self-expression, to make sure you're being authentic and being who you really are, not what others expect you to be. Dance, listening to music, role play can help you work out any destructive emotions or any other issues right now. Lip syncing, jumping on the trampoline, or some other form of energetic activity can help, let out those emotions, that rage, that, I don't know, discontent, or however, that anger, however it is you're feeling. If you are naturally defensive or in other ways highly strung, a bit stubborn, or always on edge, suffer with your nerve or and stuff like that, this transit can open you up to the ways to discipline your emotions. Some of you may seek out therapy or some other help to deal with feelings. Self reflection can help you change the relationships you want to have with yourself and others. In general, this transit gives you the ability to look into the ways you can improve the connections you have in your life. On the 29th, Mercury also makes a semi-sextile to the Moon North Node, so this supports this kind of soul-searching kind of energy. It's strongest on the 30th of June at 5:39 p.m. and it leaves on the 1st of July at 6:15 a.m. All these times are GMT. So, enlightening information can come from unexpected sources. Stay alert and try and listen to, anything new with an open mind, no matter how out there and woo woo it may it may sound. Celestial, inspiring and informative dreams and visions, or for some of you are too a bit woo woo, listen to things that are logical, because this logical information could actually help you. So it's an ideal time for writers and content creators to write or film in-depth information, good for research and hard to grasp concepts. So this week is a good week really, because quite a few placements have mentioned research. So writing content about emotions, psychology and future orientated spiritual articles is a good use of this transit. You'll be able to tap into those kind of streams of content more. Mercury semi-sextile the Moon's North Node allows you to think out of the box, to get creative solutions to your problems. It's best to think before you do during this transit, just like, Sun Square Jupiter, and looking for new ways to overcome your adversities. These new ideas, that you come across, some of you come across or look out for in books or, watching YouTube videos, listening to music or whatever, are ancient. There may be ancient things, but new to your consciousness. New people may come into your life to help you broaden your horizons and perceptions, but don't become dependent on anyone. Be wary of anyone who, puts themselves out to be some kind of guru, messiah, or goddess or godlike type of figure. So that's 2 placements this week. I can't remember the other one, but just watch out for cultist behaviour. I think it was Sun Square Jupiter. Yeah, so watch out for anyone who, has sort of like cult like ideas, do your own research, and don't be put off by fresh information if it's out of your comfort zone. But sometimes with this transit, people can be like, just fall under a spell, because us humans actually think, sometimes that we can't learn new things, or we couldn't possibly, the people are better than us. But 9 times out of 10, if you're willing to read and research or whatever, listen and take your time, you can teach yourself anything. And never put anybody before you, and never give away your power. Yeah, we can admire people, but ultimately, the number one person you should admire on earth is yourself or any children, within reason, because you know what kids can be like. But a higher power you believe in, whether that's science, technology, logic, philosophy, nature, whatever the higher power is to you. Also on the 30th, Mercury makes a bioquintile to Pluto that entered at 7:46 a.m. and it leaves on the 1st of June at 10:52 a.m. and its strongest, it's exact at 9:26 p.m. So whenever I say strongest in this audio here, I'm talking about, exact conjunction or biquintile or sextile or whatever the placement is. So this transit, subtle energy again, but gives you the chance to express your emotions. So another transit where you may choose to express yourself and your emotions through, some sort of written work, some visual work, or some other form of communication, sorts of, dance. It adds a intense flavour to the day because we're talking about Pluto here. So, it can bring subtle obsessions. You may look at someone at work who you've never noticed before, and you may be like, oh, they're a bit of all right, just that kind of subtle, kind of internal kind of obsession. Or for some of you, it can just, you could find a new TV show or online show that you like, and you just want to binge it all in 24 hours. If you are the creative type or working on any other project, if you concentrate, you can deepen your skills and your knowledge and make your, creative talent better. So whether you sing or dance or create music or content, it's good for improving your skills. Because this can be subtle but still an inner emotional moving transit, if you tap into this and you create content, it's good to produce any sort of meaningful, factual and thought-provoking work. It doesn't matter what the subject is, just going deep on anything. Work, maybe you could make content that talks about fear, anxiety, depression, hidden desires, imprisonment, the ways we imprison ourselves, sexual sort of the repression or excessive sexual hookups and the dangers of that. Anything that mainstream culture views of immoral or otherwise taboo, and the things we don't talk about. If you're trying to raise consciousness in any issue, now can be the perfect time to do it, especially, for empathetic or other humanitarian causes. So wearing awareness on cancer, depression, mental health, eating disorders, stuff like that. Being raw and honest with yourself and others and your audience can do well right now. Gaining support as well as having these sort of like difficult conversations with any intimate partners, friends, or sort of family members. So if someone's been hurting you or you've been hurting them, just having the meaningful sort of conversations. So things may get heated, but honest communication eventually leads to truth. And even if the truth is hard to hear, great changes can come. On the 1st of July, the Sun makes a sextile quadrant to Saturn. This enters on the 30th of June at 1:52 p.m, strongest around 2 p.m. on the 1st of July, and leaves at about 2:07 p.m. on the 2nd of July. So, this energy, Pluto here, is kind of like a subtle adverse aspect to the Sun. Can see abuses of power, delays in reaching those in authority. But if you keep on going, having patience will pay off. So, you may be put on hold for a long time on a phone call. This can be a highly frustrating time, as there can be delays in, important business transactions or you could be waiting longer than normal for some news that can cause discouragement. You being vexed, or at worst full-blown sort of like anger. Those in charge can abuse their influence, although you may be tempted to take shortcuts or lie or manipulate to get your own way. This will not work out in the long run. In fact, any controlling behaviour may cause arguments or at worst separations in relationships. Although you may be frustrated with delays, it's best to use the right way rather than take a shortcut. Some of you may be tempted to break the rules. This could at worst leave you in some form of legal trouble. Negatively, this can be a very explosive time. Secrets that can have devastating repercussions can be revealed. Gossip can cause distress. It's important to be careful of what you do and say right now to avoid damages to your reputation. On the 2nd of July, the moon squares Pluto, and this entered on the 30th of June at 6:19 p.m, lasts until the 3rd of July at 12 p.m, and it's strongest around the 2nd of July at 3:13 a.m. So again, it's a very sort of, one hand we've got the Venus transits that's bringing us peace and harmony, and then we've got these squares with Pluto and Jupiter and stuff, giving us this need to control. Domination is the key word of this transit. You can experience a strong need to change things in your life, and it's kind of giving you that influx of energy to be used to make these changes in your life. However, it can be a highly controlling aspect as we are dealing, with Mars and Pluto in a square. So, increasing aggressive words and action. Everything that's done right now is done with high energy, especially if you have this aspect in your natal chart or strong Aries, Scorpio, 8th and 1st or 12th house energy, or Pluto energy, strong Pluto energy in your natal chart. Negatively, people can, react more impulsively and obsessively, causing power struggles or violent words or actions due to hot-headedness and absent-mindedness. Mistakes can be made, so be careful. There can also be, sort of like an increase in selfish behaviour. Important relationships may be damaged, so be mindful of the things you say and do to avoid this consequence. On the personal growth front, some of you may feel the urge to make big, intense and drastic changes in your life and relationships. Make sure this is what you really want. This energy can be forceful. It's best to use to exercise and to work at achieving your goals, to grow as an individual on the emotional, psychological level, doing the things you have been putting off, looking into ways to improve your life, and starting or continuing the work to bring more balance and practical action into your life, letting go of all that drains you or wastes your energy and your time. But watch out for overdoing it and taking on too much, because this aspect can make you feel like you're flying without wings sort of thing, like I'm the best, I'm the GOAT, I'm the greatest of all time and all of that, which can, you can do everything. You can turn lead into gold, water into wine and all of that, but this may not be the case. Well, it's not the case, but you may just think I'm the best, but yeah, you can be the best in your field, but make sure you've got the action and the knowledge, the expertise to back it up. Others of you may have deep conversations with like-minded people about spirituality, deeper meanings in life, or just things that you're interested in, sports or drinking or whatever it is you're interested in. You could talk more about right now. Also, on the 2nd of July, Mercury trine Saturn. This entered on the 1st of July at 10:43 p.m. Remember, all times are GMT. Lasts until the 3rd of July at 12:23, and strongest around the 2nd of July at 11:38 a.m. So it allows you to work hard, to do the boring things you have been putting off. Chance to be focused is given, being practical and keeping it real. Perfect for all sorts of technical, scientific and intellectual, expanding and demanding tasks. Also, the quick study and research of things. So another transit that allows you to, take large body of content, like summarizing a 500-page book into 5 pages, or making big concepts small by taking out the essence of the main points and leaving out the long-windedness. Something I could deal with, sometimes these podcasts can get a bit long, but yeah, gives the energy to focus on the things that needs to be completed and ignore distractions. Even the most tedious, boring of work can seem like fun right now. Okay, not fun, but doable. This energy supports hard work and efficiency. You're given the chance to see what is needed and what is, surplus to requirements, what's waste, and get rid of the crap and just leave, what's good or what's useful and practical for you right now, keeping it real and all of that. Some of you may seek out help from older people, or you may be the older person someone comes to for help. All forms of order and discipline are highly favoured right now, so that you can basically get what needs to be done completed. Some of you may finalise negotiations or finalise contracts. The last transit of this week on July the 2nd is Mercury square Neptune, entered on the 2nd of July at 8:48 a.m, lasts until the 3rd of July at 10:44 a.m, and strongest around the 2nd of July at 9:52 p.m. So when Mercury squares Neptune, adds confusion to the day in speech and understanding what people mean. People may purposely deceive you or say things in such a way to basically lie to you. So yeah, manipulating facts to their own advantage, or you could do this, or you could just have unrealistic expectations. This can be a highly imaginative and deceptive transit. People can be indirect and their words can have a different meaning from what they really want to say at this time. Using words to manipulate others to get what you want, exaggerating details, miscommunication can cause pain and lead to poor judgment. You and other people may not be thinking straight during this transit. Mental and psychic distortion can happen during this time. You may struggle to absorb information, especially if this transit happens during Mercury retrograde, or if you have any other placement in your natal chart that impairs your cognitive thinking functions, then this tendency may be more potent at this time. You may feel unable to do the tasks that you do regularly, and with your eyes closed you may just not be able to do it anymore. Some of you may feel insensitive to others in your environment who are feeling down, so you just like, oh, just, get a grip, pull yourself together sort of thing. And I know I'm laughing, but it's not funny. Your ability to think or too much daydreaming can interfere with your capability to do the tasks or focus at work. Some of you may be tempted to retreat into a world of make-believe. Others will may be brought into illusionary states of mind via toxic substances intake, which can lead to a breakdowns in communications of all types can happen, especially in personal relationships. You can neglect your duties, causing arguments in the workplace or with business contacts or with your loved ones even. Because tensions may occur in all personal and business matters, it may be best to put them off if you can, especially signing contracts. If you postpone important meetings, emails or phone calls, do so if you have to do that, especially if you feel like mentally confused or emotionally drained. Psychological and personality disorders can be diagnosed or get worse at this time, so do all you can to do some self-care, self-soothing, but do not overindulge in intoxicating substances like drugs and stuff. You may be tempted, but this can make this confusion even worse if if this is affecting you. Try to do anything to ground yourself, relax yourself, to relieve your inner tension without taking any substances. But hey, it's your life. At the very worst, you and others could experience some deep psychological pain right now, so get help. Some of you may decide to book a wellness retreat or go on a holiday to the countryside, or just take 5-10 minutes, even if it's in the toilets at work, to yourself just to chill out. Also, some of you, like I said earlier, being insensitive to other people's pain, may put your foot in your mouth, as we say in England, like say the wrong thing basically, that triggers someone and into having negative experiences from their past in the form of flashbacks, or this can happen to you. If you are feeling drained or whatever, it's best to just be mindful when handling any dangerous machinery, driving, travelling and all the rest of it. Be careful also who you share secrets with during this transit. Fans, family, neighbours and passing acquaintances can cause irritation, or you may irritate them, pushing their burdens on you, or you may feel like a burden, but try not to feel this way. I'm sure just turn to someone who can sort of like help you. So yeah, guys, this ends this week's Holistic Astrological Podcast weekly horoscopes from the 26th of June to the 3rd of July. I've been Amani, and thanks a lot for listening. Take care and see you next week. If you like this, follow it, and then you can listen to me. You're so lucky. Lucky. Alright, I won't break out into song. Anyway, take care. Peace out.